Let's take a look at today's newspapers. We're joined by Forbes columnist and author Margie Warrell for a look at the papers. Margie, good morning. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
What's caught your attention today?
Oh, look, the first thing that caught my attention was the front page of The Age, and that was that Catholic Church Insurance is using a technicality ultimately to block paying compensation for victims of so many atrocious crimes. So that one caught my age because just because you can technically get away with something does not mean it's the right thing to do. And so it seems to have caused a bit of a rift within the Catholic hierarchy here in Australia.
You can imagine it would, because after many years of stonewalling, and I use that phrase advisedly, those of us within the Catholic Church certainly perceived it that way, it seemed there'd been a change of attitude and perhaps an opening up of the spirit of, there clearly needs to be admissions made and apologies made and compensation would flow accordingly. So to see that sort of, kind of closing up again is quite surprising. Yeah,
well, you would imagine there's probably some lawyers involved here. They're all about mitigating risk and mitigating what's the money that's going to be paid out. But it's absolutely, to me, it's immoral, just like so many of the crimes that were accused of. And even George Pell, Cardinal Pell, had said that, we've got to do the right thing a few years ago and not use this technicality, but it seems it's holding things up. So I felt like it was good to draw attention to that today.
Yeah, that's been the lesson of the Royal Commission, hasn't it? That they did, in fact, change tactics when forced and completely opened up under duress.
To do the Christian thing.
Let's have a look at your second item.
Yeah, that is, Tony Abbott said he's not apologising for obviously his policy, but will continue to turn back the boats and the importance of that. And I think that it's really important, if we look at what's happening even in the Mediterranean countries, there's been 70,000 people over there cross over the Mediterranean this year. A lot have died. In Australia, obviously, we continue to see with the Rohingyas coming out of Myanmar. And I think, if you look at a lot of people died, obviously, during the previous Rudd Gillard government with all of these people at sea. There's no easy way to go about, do you let them all in or do you just say we want to get rid of the boats? And I think while it can come across as an extremely hard, sometimes inhumane policy, does it actually save lives by saying, just don't even have the boats ship off? So it's really stopping that channel.
It is a diabolical dilemma, and looking at some of those pictures filed in by our Indonesia correspondent George Roberts there from Aceh, they are distressing to look at. The thing is, though, it looks like Australia spoke so much when the boats were coming here about finding a regional solution.
Yeah.
It now appears we've found a regional solution, and it's Australia's solution, because Malaysia, Indonesia are all adopting something akin to the turnback policy.
Ultimately, you just don't want these people getting on. But we need to find a solution. But having thousands and thousands of people on these boats isn't it?
All right, the US raid on Islamic State.
Yeah.
A game changer, do you think?
Oh, look, is it a game changer? I don't know if I'd go that far. However, it is an acknowledgement by the Obama administration, the US administration, that airstrikes alone aren't working. In fact, ISIS have proved themselves very adept at avoiding airstrikes. So sending in boots on the ground to take out some of their senior leadership, that clearly they've taken out this Abu Sayyaf is the top money man in charge of all the money, the finance, how they get their money from the oil refineries, etc. So I think taking out someone like that, and that is actually obviously going to make a big difference to trying to dismantle some of their highly effective machinery that they've got there.
And in a not unrelated story, page 1 of the Herald Sun, an interesting connection here to a jihadist in Australia and another young Aussie who's been killed.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. And ISIS, whatever you call them, highly effective, whether it's in their recruiting strategies, whether it's in how they've just gone about, creating their caliphate. Yeah. So I think, a very sad story of another young man. His school friends and people had said, good kid from a lovely family. So, and actually part of the speculation was that he was beheaded by ISIS for trying to return to Victoria. So, I think they go over there with some idealistic ideas and quickly realise it's not the way it is.
It's a really frightening story, particularly the angle of that story that deals with him perhaps having second thoughts and wanting to return home. Yeah. No escape.
And girls earning more, The Age tells us, if their mum works. That's an
interesting study. I saw this, I hadn't seen this before, 25 different countries, and Harvard actually reviewed this study, so it's been pretty verified that girls will earn more if they've got a working mother, more likely to earn more, up to 6% more. But also, even one thing that caught my eye too, the sons of working mums do more housework and will spend more time every week caring for other kids. And I think an ultimate shows a more egalitarian sort of house, and sometimes they say leads to more stable marriages too.
Leads to more stable marriages?
Well, that young men are kind of seeing it, well, you know, that they'll take up more share of the work if they've got a working mum, because they need to do more share of the work. So they have a different outlook on just doing the housework. Everyone's got to pitch in.
There you go. Now, look, got a Kylie story this morning as well. And I have to say, my heart sort of, broke a little bit when I read this, because Kylie's been quite upfront, she says, in putting it out there, I need a partner. Anyone got any suggestions, she's saying?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny, Kylie and I, we finished high school the same year. And over the years, I've had many moments of envy of thinking, oh, to have Kylie Minogue's career. But here you go. Here she is at 46 saying, oh, I'd just love to meet a guy, and I'm okay if he's bald, I'm okay if he's grey, and I'm even okay if he's got a paunch. So it just goes to show that, she still would like to have her life would be whole if she had a man.
And likewise for men, if they wait long enough, it just might happen.
So guys, she's a pretty hot chick.
This is don't wait. don't leave it too late. I think the unfortunate part of this story is that men who are grey, balding and with a paunch are clearly considered, oh, OK, I'll settle for one of them. They're the absolute last-ditch
She actually said that she thinks she's probably made a mistake by going too much just for the good-looking, handsome guys, and maybe she's missed out.
They haven't hung around, have they?
She's maybe missed out on some substance and calibre there, so...
Well, we know a few paunchy guys that we can point in your direction. Margie, nice to see you. Thanks so much.
Good to see you too.
Thanks, mate.